For cattle ranchers Lance and Dawnette Hoch, the Paddock Fire became a personal struggle back in August when the fire came pounding on their front door.
This is where my property line starts, and it burned right over the ridge and all the way around this ridge and all came over at me at the same time. Created a fire line on this side to keep the equipment and all the buildings, so you can see that fire line I cut.
It was on August 9th when the fire came roaring up and over the top of that hill, consuming and burning property 360 degrees around where they were. Lance knew he had to go to work so that he could save his 350 head of cattle. Well, the mission was accomplished, but now he's got to feed them by hand to keep them from starving. So this is what they're looking for.
Yeah, that's what they're looking for.
They're all hungry and waiting for us when we come up every day.
This is expensive.
It is. Just to keep them alive, it's around $10,000 a month. Are they going to eat all of this grass that's here?
There's only less than 100 acres of it left, and they'll eat it clear down to where there's none of the dry grass even left. They've already taken most of it away.
Knew that he had to do it to stop the fire from burning everything, and I guess I had a feeling that he would be safe and everything would be okay.
Lance and Dawnette have been ranching these hills east of Weiser for 30 years.
This is why we have cows. They have these sweet little babies that look like this that lay down in their feed. It's far too much work to stand and eat.
Their livestock comfortably grazing on their 1,800 acres of land that has always been a rich source of food. Well, in August, they went from occasionally checking on their cattle to suddenly fighting a war against the fire that was raging out of control, threatening everything they've worked for.
I'll scratch you if you let me. I just asked God to help us protect the cows so we didn't get any cows burnt. That's a horrible thing. I have a friend of mine lost 47 cows on the Idaho fires last year. Right here at this fence line was a pretty exciting spot. It was burning 180 degrees around us and all came down at us at the same time. A lot of this hillside was covered with 8 to 10 foot sagebrush. And the fire burned right in here so darn hot that it it no longer exists. But once it got into that real tall stuff, you had 60 to 100 foot flames.
This property was on the west end of the massive Paddock Fire that consumed 187,000 acres of land. Even Squaw Butte near Emmett was blackened by the flames. To date, this is the largest fire of the season in Idaho. It has killed over 100 livestock and destroyed a number of buildings. Lance spent 18 hours on his tractor cutting fire breaks to protect a sliver of land and his cattle.
Literally from 10 o'clock at night, cleared till the next day at 4 o'clock in the afternoon is when I climbed off the tractor. I spent that many hours just protecting 100 acres.
We saved the most important things. The cattle and the buildings and the equipment. So we lost the grass, but the grass will grow back.
Normally, Lance and Dawnette plan on feeding their cattle during the months of December, January, and February when it gets cold. But now they're having to tack on an additional 4 months of feeding. It's going to be tough. Financially, it's going to be a burden for them. One of the things that they're concerned about is other ranchers, neighbors who perhaps don't have the resources that they have, and they know that they've lost just as much.